Right, so think let's just, so why is that not doing that? Oh, does it, it's not set to loop, right? Okay, there we go. Okay, now it's looping. Oi. I'm just going to turn the stream on for myself to check my audio levels quickly. Don't worry to anyone who may have joined. I'm going to mute the desktop audio so you guys don't get like an infinite loop of me. Yeah, so right now just testing the audio. Make sure that the music's not too loud. I think it might be a little too loud right now. I know it sounds very like 80s radio DJ-esque, but I quite like it. It's vibey, you know? Yeah, I think that's too loud. I think we need to be like there. No. Here we go. It's one of the reasons I started the stream 15 minutes early, so I can work out all these little kinks. So, also gives time for subs to get in. Yeah, here we go. This is a good level, I think. Yeah, here we go. Cool. This is all Gucci. So, yeah, right. So I've now got that muted for me. So, although I probably won't. I'll leave it on for a bit because I like the music that I'm using for the channel audio. It's a whole vibe. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good level. I've also just noticed that the subscribe button in the bottom right corner is my old channel profile picture. I'll need to figure that out at some point. I need to get a new one, to be perfectly honest. I need to commission someone or something. So, seeing as we've redirected over to Warhammer content, which is great. Yeah, cool. I'm liking these audio levels. Lovely. Yeah, cool. I'm liking these audio levels. And with that, we'll mute that. I'll just be chilling for now. So, we're just out here. For anyone who's watching this not live on the replay on the channel, so you can see we've got significantly more than just the 18 Primarchs and one Emperor and one Valdor. Because in typical, I like a lot of power scaling content, so it's yeah. So sorry about my voice as well in advance. It's I'm still not entirely 100% covered from the illness, but I figured it's been a week since I uploaded anything, and yeah, it's the least I could do, right? And this is something I wanted to get done at some point because I just thought it'd be a cool idea for a video. I've not seen anyone else do it, so you know, and yeah, I sidetracked it. The ADHD brain. So yeah, in typical like power scaling fashion and stuff. I watch a lot of that kind of content. Like big shout out to Tempest. He's I'm in his Discord. He's great. He's a great guy. Like Seth the Programmer, those kind of guys. A lot of that kind of circular stuff does videos like this, like Swag Cargo and stuff. So I yeah, I just figured, why isn't there a Warhammer one? Or at least, if there has been one, I've not seen it. So, yeah, so we've got the various different versions of each character throughout the different time periods to just denote the various buffs or debuffs that they'd have throughout the various period of time. I'm waffling kind of a bit to an empty space right now, although I've just noticed we've got our first viewer come in. Good to have you here, buddy. Say hello in the chat. So, we're just going to chill and wait for the full start time. So, for those watching on when it replays, it's the video is probably going to start at about 8 to 10 minutes in. If you want to skip past the waffling, that's going to be here. But if you're here for me, then awesome. So this is just me waffling about. Right. So I'll give it another 2 minutes, and then we'll start on with the tier list. 5 minutes early is on time, right? So, yeah. I'm just going to do another cursory audio check. Yeah, cool. Right, yeah, those audio levels are perfect. Hey, don't be a stranger. I see you there. I see you there watching. So, right. We are going to get cracking. I'm going to have to tilt my laptop monitor, like display. Because I'm standing upright because of how my setup is done with my nice quality microphone. I'm a bit quiet if I'm sat down, like I noticed that on the podcast. And I simply cannot be bothered to adjust the setup. It's in a nice, awesome position right now. I get good sound quality with it like this, so I don't want to mess with it, you know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, starting from the top left here, we have Great Crusade, Emperor of Mankind. We then have the Master of Mankind in the War of the Webway. This is obviously post him leaving the Webway project and going back, so this is in a sunless realm Emperor, that moment, because obviously there's heavy implications. If Sanguinius isn't number one, we riot. Okay. I'm just going to explain the different versions of the characters that are in here, and then we'll get to explaining how I've got the tier list set up. So then here, third along, we have End and the Death Emperor. So this is the Emperor during his fight with Horus. Then in between the Emperor and Horus, we've got Constantine Valdor. He's in there just for some giggles, because you know Valdor is that guy among the Custodians. He's essentially a Primarch. He's so good. Like some of the feats he displays are just ridiculous throughout the series. So I figured, if we're doing a Primarch tier list, the best of the Golden Boys deserves a little shout in there. So then here we've got Horus Lupercal with before he has Worldbreaker. So this is Great Crusader Horus prior to becoming the War Master. We then have War Master Horus, so with the Talon of Horus and Worldbreaker, and then we have what the tabletop game refers to him as Ascended Horus. This is anywhere post the Gate of Molech. So this is time warp shenanigans. This is potentially outerversal Horus, however you would want to scale him if you want to get into that detail. We probably won't get into that kind of detail with the streams. I might chuck out some rough scales at some point, but I'm a bit too tired to sit and do any calcs right now. But if you guys in chat know anything about any calcs for Warhammer, I'm happy to discuss them with you. So that's one of the purposes of this stream. I want this to be a community thing. I don't want this to just be, oh, this is my opinion, man. This is like just my opinion. Like this is. I'd like everyone to get on board with this. So it's after Horus, we've then got Rogaldon. So I mentioned his position on the podcast. This is probably going to ruffle some feathers. But yeah, then we've got next to him, we've got Lorgar. These are not put in order of the legions. I realised that after I'd done it. It was basically the orders in which I found the pictures. So we've got Lorgar, Great Crusade era. Then we've got Pilgrimage Lorgar. So yeah, just slightly prior to becoming Demon Prince. Then we've got Demon Lorgar. Then we've got Vulcan. And then next to him, we've got Vulcan on Istvan. More on that in a moment. We've then got Ferrus Manus, Great Crusade era. This also, just to clarify, the Vulcan, the non-Istvan Vulcan, is pre and post Istvan, whereas Istvan Vulcan is just Istvan. Yeah, we'll get to the Istvan point in a minute. We've got Ferrus Manus. Then down here we've got Istvan Ferrus Manus. And I guess because Corvus is so much further along, I should explain it now. So obviously we know Istvan, it hurts, even to this day, the atrocities that happened in the events of the Istvan. Like the books that describe the events of Istvan. And yeah, the Primarchs that were the victims of it weren't too happy about it, were they? So they all got massive rage amps. Some of the things that they did during those events, they didn't replicate at any other point during the series. So I've got them a bit separate because obviously the Ferrus that fought Fulgrim probably would have smacked the ever-living dog crap out of normal Ferrus. Like, it's just logical. So yeah. However, those do also have some interesting, shall we say, interactions with other versions of the normal Primarchs. So, yeah, then we've got Fulgrim, Great Crusade era. We then have Fulgrim with the Layer Blade. And then we've got, of course, Demon Primarch Fulgrim. Then we've got Mortarion, Demon Mortarion. Now this, I was going to get two different pictures for 40k Mortarion and for Demon Mortarion in the Heresy. But like, there's not a whole lot of difference in his power. If I'm being real, like Mortarion was a menace during the Heresy and is a menace during 40k. I would actually argue Mortarion was stronger during the Heresy. Hey, Mr. Golden Balls, how's it good? How's it going? Yeah, I'm glad that you finally managed to catch us live as well. We're doing a tier list today, so that's gonna be sweet. So, yeah. So, and then Abstract Digital, we've got your boy Sanguinius. This is your General Sanguinius. So Great Crusade era, all of that lovely stuff. And then we've got Commander Sanguinius. So as we've seen in the Cygnus on Cygnus Prime, it was. Am I getting my lore mixed up? What bloody book was it where in Fear to Tread was Fear to Tread Cygnus Prime? These shows goes to show you how ill and tired I've been recently. But yeah, so Fear to Tread, and Echoes of Eternity, Sanguinius, when he fights Commander. As we've seen, Sanguinius with a Rage Amp is something else. Is really something else. So yeah, that's going to be in there. And I guess you can also encompass Sanguinius that fights Horus with this as well. Spoiler alert. Yeah, he's probably going quite high on the list. I'll just say that now. Yeah. So then after that, of course, we've got Great Crusade and Heresy Perturabo. We've got next to that Demon Perturabo, which I'm still not super happy about, G-dubs, but you know, it's their IP, they can do with what they will. We don't really have any feats for him at the moment, so I'm interested in what decision we're all going to come up with here, where to rank him, because we've not really seen anything of it. Logic would stand to reason that he's stronger than mortal, well, quote, finger quotes right now, like finger quotes, mortal Perturabo, but who knows? We could just be flat wrong with that, right? Your three favourite Primarchs, Mr. Golden Balls, are the Lion, Corvus, and Vulcan. Yeah, three very good choices. I've got mad love for the Lion. I really like the Lion. Like, him and Dawn are literally basically the two autistic Primarchs, and I love it. It resonates with me, shall we say. Yeah, so from Perturabo, we have one of your favourites. We have Great Crusade era / Horus Heresy Lion. Then after that, we've got the Lion as he returns in 40k. Obviously, I had to separate these two because the Lion in 40k has a lot of abilities that the Lion in the Heresy just doesn't have. He's got his whole wild walk thing. Is it called forest walking or something like that? I can't remember from the Arcs of Omen thing. Yeah, Corvus is a beast. We'll get to him in a minute because you may notice there's 3 different versions of Corvus on this list. After that, we have Konrad Curze, my favourite Primarch. So if you guys watch the podcast, you may have noticed that I'm represented by a Night Lord on the really rough like background thing that I made. That I did that like on my phone on like CapCut. Excuse me. Yeah, Konrad's my personal favourite, and his placement on this list is going to show people hopefully that I don't have any biases here. This is like genuinely my constructed opinion and with input from you guys as well. So after Corvus, of course, we have the Lord of the Red Sands, the Red Angel himself, Angron. Then down the first and the third row, we've got Horus Heresy Demon Primarch Angron. And then we've got 40k Demon Primarch Angron. Now, I've listed those as 2 separate entries because of something I'll talk about much later on in the video. But if you've read Arcs of Omen Angron, yeah, you'll know 40k Angron isn't a demon to be trifled with. Let's just put it that way lightly, you know? Yeah. Just a bit of a beast. And, yeah, then we've got one of your other favourites. Hey, on the subject of that, Konrad did take on Sanguinius, Guilliman, and the Lion all at the same time. Just because he didn't do it in a direct fight doesn't mean he didn't do it. Like, Konrad's kind of thing is attacking from shadows and doing it like that. That's like saying that like judging someone on a direct thing like that would just be like someone who's not meant to do that. You know, like it's like judging a fish on his ability to climb a tree. Like, you know, and also so something I had this debate with an old friend of mine a long time ago, yeah, they would refuse to believe that Konrad was beating the Lion. Like, it's like, bro, did you read the book? Is Weapons of War or something like that? The like short novella and Konrad literally is about to kill the Lion, and then Corswain goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna stab you in the back though." And this is also after the Lion has already like sucker stabbed Konrad in the gut and near killed him. And Konrad was like, "Yeah, but I'm just gonna murk you anyway." Craziness is a hell of a thing to have, especially in a near demigod beast of a person, because we can't really call the Primarchs humans, can we? They're transhumans. So yeah, we've got Corax. This is Great Crusade Corax pre-Istvan. We then have during and post Istvan here. I know that I've used an image of what I think is from one of the things. No, never mind. But I chose this one for this one is not an Istvan Corax, but I chose it because it looks very gloomy, and for anyone who's read like Deliverance, Lost, and such, Corax is one of the few Primarchs that actually got a nerf later on in the Heresy. Like, Corax stops being as strong. Like, Corax goes from being like one of the top tiers to like, sorry to ruffle some raveny feathers right now, but he becomes like pretty low tier among the Primarchs later on in the Heresy. because he like just doesn't do anything because he's too busy being an emo and like listening to My Chemical Romance. Like, he just wants to go back in the box. And then we have this new shadowy form of Corax that was so excited to read about. I'm probably going to do an excerpt reading on this Chad of a transhuman, this absolute alpha, nay, sigma male of the Primarchs, that is quote-unquote demon Corvus Corax. He came to Lorgar's planet to slay wordbearers, whip Lorgar's ass, and find shiny spoons. And there were no shiny spoons to be found. So, yeah. I don't want to spoil what the top list is and say what I want to refer to Corax as, the demon Corax, but yeah. Well, quote-unquote demon Corax, because he's not really a demon, but he's described as literally being made of warp stuff. But the Primarchs kind of are anyway, as we know from established lore. Then, obviously, I wonder who the big red dude next to Corax is, right? So that's Great Crusade Magnus. Then the TTS like avatar of Magnus that has decided to like jettison up into the top of the picture. That's going to be representing Prospero Magnus, because much like Corvus, oh yeah, absolutely, Mr. Golden Balls. The story of the story of Corvus killing wordbearers like it was nothing on their own turf was just beautiful to me. He says, yeah, that's literally, it was so good. What was the I've not read it in a while, but he says something to Lorgar. I'm gonna have to Google that real quick. He said something that was cold as hell. Oh, I would like to credit this Reddit user, but they've deleted their account. Oh no, never mind. They don't have the full thing. Alright, yeah, I'm not going to spend loads of the stream looking for this excerpt, but it's a good one for sure. It's in the Sons of the Emperor's anthology, which is one if anyone watching the stream hasn't read, I wholeheartedly, I know I say this in all of my videos, but it's not like just some cop out thing so that I don't get DMCA'd by G-Dubs or something, or by Black Library. It's a genuine thing. Like, I love these stories so much, and it's just a performative thing that I do. Like, I do it for fun, and hey, you guys seem to be enjoying it. So I'm gonna keep doing it, but on the same token of that, I do wholeheartedly, like, you just get a little tidbit of the story from me. Yeah, I always recommend that you guys go and read them, and the Sons of the Emperor's anthologies are all really good. Yeah, so we've then got Prospero Magnus. So much like Corvus, Magnus just went into a bit of a sulk on Prospero, and so he wasn't at his full power. So this version of Magnus is inevitably going to end up being lower than others. Avid watchers of my channel might recognize the next image. It was from one of my first like proper standout video in terms of success on the channel, and that's Vulcan versus so Echoes of Eternity Magnus, because he was pulling some bullish. He was messing with time and space in the webway where it don't really exist. So that's you've got boundless arguments there for sure. You've certainly got 4D Magnus arguments there. For those that are unaware of that, that's like fourth dimensional. Yeah. So after that, we've got Leman Russ, and then we've got Prospero Leman Russ, because Leman Russ hated Magnus, and he was also rage amped on Prospero, so he was a bit stronger than he normally would have been there. After that, we've got Great Crusade / Heresy Guilliman. We've then got 40k Guilliman after his return, so Lord Commander of the Imperium Guilliman. We then have Godblight Guilliman, which I know is controversial, granting these feats to Guilliman, as it was the Emperor doing it through him. But I've got a take on that I'll discuss later on when we're placing it. After that, obviously, Jagatai Khan, although the tier list has decided to Ferrus Manus him. Sorry, any Iron Hands fans that get offended by that, but it is what it is. Your Primarch's dead. He says with the Ferrus Manus model on his shelf right now. Yeah. Then after that, we've got Warhawk Jagatai Khan, Jagatai Khan from the novel Warhawk, and because again, rage amps, it gives him a little bit higher, and we also because we don't particularly see the Khan do a lot until the Siege of Terror. Controversial take, I know. He obviously does do a few things here and there, but the real stuff is during Warhawk. That's where we get the grips and oomph of just how hard Jagatai Khan really is. And then, obviously, all my meme lords out here are going to know who this is. It's me. I am Alpharius. No, no, of course. This is Oscas 1's big boy himself. This is Alpharius Omegon. So I've not put separate entries for the two of them because it would be pointless. Because they were so alike that they were able to pass each other. And so, you know, like logic dictates that would determine in skill as well. So, with that out of the way, the premise of the tier list. So this isn't a analysis or ranking of their characters. This is sheerly how strong they are in regards to each other. So how many Space Marines they could kill is irrelevant. This is sheerly how they match up with one another. So if the Emperor, obviously the Emperor is a bad example. I won't use the Emperor because he cakewalks all of them except for Ascended Horus. And arguably Magnus. We'll get to that later. But so, for example, if Sanguinius, base Sanguinius, just normal Great Crusade Sanguinius, if we were to pair him up against Leman Russ, which was it Abstract Digital Recordings? Yes, as Abstract said it. I'm just going to call you Abstract, if that's okay. Drop a comment in the chat if that's okay. I don't want to call you something you don't want to be called. Yeah, as Abstract said, even Russ didn't think he could beat Sanguinius, and so with things like this, you have to take statements from the characters and in-universe feats to determine what is putting them ahead. So if Russ doesn't think he can beat Sanguinius in a one-on-one fight, logic would dictate, and Russ is a pretty arrogant guy as far as Primarchs are concerned. Like, yeah, he just is. Again, sorry my boys in the Volca Fenrica, that's the next army I want to get to. I want to do a Space Wolves mechanized army, but Russ was a bit of an arrogant tit. Oh dear. I'm just going to take a sip of my drink real quick because my throat's still kind of dry from that sickness. Alright, cool. Yeah, just because saying Abstract Digital Recordings is really, really long each time, so just yeah, just Abstract. But yeah, so it's so yeah, prime example is we will be having Sanguinius over Russ based purely on the fact Russ didn't think it could beat him. However, I would be happy to hear out any arguments that chat might have as to why, if they think Leman Russ could beat Sanguinius. I'd love to hear that out. And yeah. So that's the premise of this tier list. We're quite far in now already, but yeah, we've been going half hour. But that's because I set it up early, and that's a thing. I will probably try and see if I can use the YouTube editor to clip it out. But right, so moving up, we of course have the trash tier right here. We then have D tier, which, thinking about it now, there's probably no point in because yeah, but it's relative to the Primarchs themselves. So it's, we might end up with one, maybe two in D tier. C tier, B tier, A tier, S tier, And then we have him tier. Only the top dogs belong in him tier. And so, we're going to go ahead and get these guys out of the way. We're gonna just go ahead, if it will let me, and put. I think that's an absolute fair. We've got End and the Death Emperor at the peak. Yeah, I think that's absolute fair, and we've got Ascendant Horus just behind him. Yeah, because they are him. They are Himothy. They are hemi-neutron. And then I think realistically it goes Webway Master, Webway, then there, because I think we can come back to that later, because I think Ascended Horus could have possibly killed, like just beaten the Emperor that was in the war in the Webway. Tell me what you guys think about that, chat. I want to hear your guys' opinions on that, because I think Horus could have done him at that point. Because obviously, as we know in the End and the Death, the Emperor was, like, they kind of retconned the original lore, where the Emperor, like, just couldn't bring himself to kill his favourite son and stuff. Like, no, in the End and the Death, the Emperor was on a bloody war path. He was not playing no games with Horus. In EAD too, like, it's like not even slightly. So yeah, it's I think that's pretty solid there for now. So here is where the controversy will begin. I think. No, I think I'll save that one for later. Demon Angron in 40k. He's going straight into him tier. But just behind. Oh. No, I don't. Is Demon Angron beating Great Crusade Emperor? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think those four are pretty solidly cemented as the hemi-neutrals. Mr. Golden Balls, we've seen. I've got a power scale for the Emperor, and it's because I've got a video coming up. Well, after I've done the Kaldor Drago versus Ryomen Sukuna video, which is was shaping up really well until my Microsoft Office started being a knobhead, for lack of a better word. Apologies for any language. I tried to swear as little as possible on my channel, as opposed to like my old content where I'd be effing and blinding all the time. I change in my character, you know. I just don't swear as much anymore. Like in Master of Mankind, we're very, very much heavily shown what the Emperor's capable of. So there's a statement in I think it's in what the like previous I think it's in 9th edition's Chaos Space Marine Codex. In the Abaddon entry, Draknien is described. So Draknien, which is Abaddon's sword, which is the demon that was formed from the first murder, it is described as being able to rip reality asunder. Now, in power scaling terms, that's top dog stuff. Yeah, that's you can argue, you can start arguing like boundless and like stuff with that. But me personally, I put that as like a 6D feat, like 6th dimensional, because it could go straight through, you know. I'm sorry I can't articulate this very well. This will be explained in further detail in the thing, but essentially, we saw the Emperor get impaled by raw Draknien in the Master of Mankind, and it just stands to reason that him sealing Draknien into a sword would lower its power. And if Draknien as a sword can sunder reality and tear a hole in it, what can, like, unshackled Draconian do? And the Emperor was able to tank that. So that gives the Emperor multi-universal levels of durability. So, yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, but normal Emperor doesn't have that kind of feat. And obviously, Demon Angron in 40k, for those who have read Arcs of Omen. For those who haven't, spoiler alert, skip about 30 seconds after the stream. If you guys are on stream, wait for me to do this with the mouse until the spoiler stops. But 3, 2, 1, spoiler. In Arcs of Omen Angron literally cuts a planet in half. It's like the whole core spire, he just goes, it's gone. And for the people that want to say it was Khorne, it was not Khorne. It was Angron. It's shown that Khorne symbolically places his hand on Angron's shoulder, but the ramifications in the galaxy at large, if it had actually been Khorne in the physical realm, would have been enormous. Everything Tyrannid would have headed that direction instantly. Everything. And we know it hasn't. So, you know, take with that what you will. But yeah, Angron, he is Himothy. He really is. So, now, let's do some of the lower tiers. So, I am going to be a bit unkind here. Istvan Corvus is going in D. He's not quite trash, but he's certainly not good. Yeah. Yeah. Post Istvan Corvus Corax is he's not it, Chief. He's not. However, I'm now going to show my lack of bias in these things. And we're going to put Conrad comfortably in A. I would like to put him in Him tier. However, he's a bit of a mopey sod, isn't he? And if his whole conversation with Sanguinius, if he hadn't have just accepted his death and just let the assassin kill him, if he had have taken up Sanguinius, like, things could have been so much different. And if that had have happened, honestly, Conrad could have been like peak fictional character. But obviously I understand they had predetermined lore that they had to adhere to when writing that scene, which really sucked. I almost wish that scene hadn't been written because of what could have been. Yes, but this is Istvan. This is post Istvan Corvus, where he was moping about and not doing anything. Which brings me to my next point. Great Crusade / post Istvan Corvus is going in A above Kurz. I think in a straight fight, even if they're both utilizing all of their tools, I think Corvus beats Kurz. Conrad's more like Owlman, but Conrad is a G. Like, you know the world's messed up when you see that Conrad Kurz kind of had a point. Because he yeah, the Nostramans didn't play no games when he was around. They were like, yeah, you better do that. The Night Haunter's gonna come. And nothing happened. There was no knife crime. You know what I mean? We need a Conrad Kurz in London right now. Although, arguably, we've already got many Conrad Kurzes. But no, what we've got in London is an epidemic of Nostramans that don't have a Conrad Kurz. I need to let Yanko out of prison or something, and just give him lightning claws. That's a really, really obscure, like, drill rap music reference that... Oh, it's not even that obscure if you know the genre, but yeah. Yeah, so we've got Corvus over Conrad, which I hope to viewers and anyone who knows me personally, if they are watching this, or to people who have been watching the podcast or watching or who have spoken to me in Discord or whatnot. Which, by the way, we do have a Discord. If you guys wanted to join that, I'll probably chuck it in chat at the end of the stream, and I'll pin it in the comments on this. Because it would be cool to interact with you guys sometimes. I don't want you to just be rolls of texts on a screen, you know. So I want to foster a community. There's not a lot of I think one of the few 40k and Warhammer content creators on YouTube that actually does stuff like that is Northern Exile. I'm in his Discord, and his Discord's really cool. That's the kind of thing I would want. But yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. So, seeing as we are on the subject of Istvan, let us go ahead and put... I don't know if Fulgrim one-on-one would have beaten Corvus, because the only reason Fulgrim beat Ferrus Manus was because Ferrus Manus was so pissed. Corvus was the only one of the Primarchs present that kinda managed to keep his head, because obviously when he was fighting and beating Lorgar, Kurz showed up and he was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna die here if I don't run away. So Corvus still had his head. Not that, and that doesn't refute my point about Kurz over thing. Corvus probably would have been able to beat Kurz one-on-one, but it wouldn't have been one-on-one. It would have been Lorgar and Kurz versus Corvus, and I love Corvus. I don't love him as much as Conrad, but Corvus ain't winning 2v1 against Lorgar and Conrad. It's just not happening. So he had his brain switched on enough. So yeah. So we're going to go ahead and put Layer Blade Fulgrim beneath Conrad, which then obviously, subsequently... Now here's where I might ruffle some feathers and upset some people. We're gonna put Istvan Ferris in B tier. Because, in fact, no, he's going down to C. Because he just kind of went, Fulgrim! and just ran in a straight line for him. He near enough got his whole legion killed. The Iron Hands would have been extinct on Istvan 5 if it weren't for Shadrach Magician. And obviously the elements of the legion outside the galaxy. But there would have been nothing left. At all. Yeah, so he's going down there in C for me. I think the Lion beats Layer Blade Fulgrim for sure, because at that point it's a sword fight, and the Lion is stated on numerous occasions throughout various books to have been the best swordsman of the Primarch. However, and Fulgrim, playing to his arrogance and wanting to be perfect at everything, would try and beat the Lion in a straight sword fight. Does anybody disagree with that in chat? So, obviously, here's where the stream delay gets difficult with doing something like this. But so I'll start moving to the next thing. But if I see a comment popping up that disagrees with it, I'll revisit it. So far, I'm seeing this is pretty fair. This also, just so you guys know, is a raw take. This is just a raw take. So I've not thought about this, other than odd tidbits in my head, while setting it up. I've not sat and given this any thought. I'm thinking about this as we're doing it. So, if you guys have inputs, I'd love to hear them. So, there's seven of us. Well, 7 of you guys in the chat. We're right now. So, and only 2 of you are commenting. Don't be strangers. Come say hi. We're cool. We don't bite, but Conrad Kurz does, and probably Demon Angle. Right. So, any suggestions, people? I'm willing to hear out suggestions where you guys think they're at. We'll also get... no, I want to save that for later, actually. I was going to put Demon Korax in, but I want to try and shuffle as few about as possible. I'm going to go ahead and put pre-Ulanor Horus in B. That's the quote. My guy, Mr. Golden Balls. You're the GOAT. Yeah, that's the... I am what I am. I always have been. I am vengeance incarnate. It's so cold. I absolutely love that line. That's the one. Thank you. I don't know, like, my brain gets very fuddled with lore sometimes, and I, like, if I'm ever live, you'll note that I don't want to end up misattributing a quote to a different character. So, it's like my brain's in the warp at all times when it comes to this bloody universe, but I love it to bits. So so the curse of the Spurge and the ADHD in one. So yeah. So we agreed with Horus in B tier, like pre getting Worldbreaker, because Worldbreaker gives Horus a massive amp. Like, Horus becomes exponentially stronger once he gets Worldbreaker and the Talon of Horus. And so for that, I believe we have our first S tier in Warmaster Horus. I don't think that's unreasonable. Now, I'm probably about to make Matt Ward hella mad here. 30k Gilliman goes into D, but over Istvan Corvus. Over Istvan Corvus. Like, so this is like Istvan Deliverance Lost Corvus. Post Istvan Deliverance Lost Corvus. Sorry, I keep forgetting to say the post bit. This is Great Crusade / on Istvan. Yeah, Jesus. So who should we go to next, chat? What do you guys think? Hey, welcome to the stream, new viewer. How's it hanging? Hope you're doing well. So I'm interested to hear your guys' takes. So, are we ready to throw Valdor in yet, or should we get some of the more weaker well, not that any of the Primarchs are inherently weak. They're all like minimum solar system level, but like alone. But well, no, that's a little bit of the damn you gams kind of cap. But it's they do all scale to greater demons, which are all dwarf star level. So most of them scale above. So there are solar system arguments for most of them. Hey, noise pollution, how goes it? Why are you saying damn? So, if we don't have any opinions from chat, I'm going to continue. And we're going to put pre-pilgrimage Lorgar in B behind Horus. Abstract, you the goat. Alpharius Omegan in the trash. You know, that was originally like my full intent. I literally only made the trash tier thing because I was just going to wait until the end of the video and just put Alvarez and Omega on there and just end the stream. No, but Alvarez Omega will probably end up. I don't think. I may as well just put them there now. Like, in a straight fight, they're not beating any of the Primarchs. They're just not. Magnus would psychically blitz Magnus would speed blitz them and psychically maul them, either one of them or both of them at the same time before they can do anything. They haven't got hope in hell at fighting Sanguinius. What do you think they're going to do to Lehman Russ? Like in a straight fight, neither Alfarius nor Omegon are doing anything to any one of the other Primarchs. Jagatai Khan without his bike is trashing them. But this is like a composite Khan as well. I didn't want to like put the caveat of, oh, does Jagatai Khan have his bike or not? Because like, Khan will stand on the roof of a Razorback if he has to go fast. We know this. He's done this. Sorry if you guys can hear any of the sniffling, by the way. Okay, you see, if we were doing a character listing, so Mr. Golden Balls has just said, I say put Mortarion in D tier because he's too much of a hypocrite before and after becoming a demon Primarch. Yeah, see, if we were doing this based on their character, for sure I would agree. I would be like, yeah, Mortarion's low. But even then, I would still say C because that adds an element of, like, it adds an interesting element to his character. I do love that dichotomy of he's a psyker and he is happy to employ his psychic abilities, but he's trashing on the psykers all the time and is very active during the, like, it involving the censorship of Magnus and the Thousand Sons during the Edict of Nicaea. And it's, yeah, but it adds to that, to the, yeah. Exactly. But yeah, Abstract says together they couldn't take Lorgar. Yeah, no, like, see, that's another thing as well. Lorgar does not get enough credit. Lorgar's hard, man. Like, Lorgar might have done exactly the opposite of, he might have gone, so father, you've told me you're not a god. You've told me not to do anything, all of these things. The Emperor was like, yes. And Lorgar just went, but what if I did them? So while Lorgar was a bit of an idiot, he was a double-hard bastard. Like, dude got shot in the face with a Titan plasma cannon. With the plasma exterminator. The turbo blast. Like the big Warhound Titan gun. And he was like, yeah, I'm good. He wasn't so good after the second shot, but even still. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, because Lorgar was really hard. The Word Bearers don't get enough credit for being really solid fighters. Like, in the very famous get up moment from Betrayer, where Khan absolutely, like, I did a video on it before getting the new mic, where Khan absolutely dog walks Erebus. What people fail to understand the implication of that scene is that Erebus was in there beating the dog crap out of all of the World Eaters. Erebus was just sat there smashing the World Eaters like they were nothing. Yeah, see, but again, they'd be able to do Magnus if they had the Sisters of Silence, but that's if they have outside help. This is all to do in one-on-one, or in Alfarius Omegon's instance, the 2-on-1 situation, or a one-on-one. Like, the Alfarius Omegon thing will get a bit weird. But this is directly how they relate to each other's power alone with no help. Because otherwise Guilliman is a lot higher if you're using their resources. Guilliman's him. if they've got their resources. You've got to remember Guilliman's got the biggest legion. And Guilliman is also one of the best commanders. And also, Horus, like, pre-War Master Horus would go a lot higher as well. He certainly wouldn't be in B tier if they've got access to their legions as well. We're talking in a strict, straight one-on-one fight. Or, you know, 2-on-1 in the case of Alpharius and Omegon. Or if you want to take this as 1-on-1. Personally, I don't see it making a difference. Whether it's one of them against Guilliman. You see, both of them could maybe beat Guilliman. And both of them together could maybe beat, like, mopey post-Istvan, like, Deliverance Lost-ish era Korax. But the fact that it takes two of them... I'm also just realising that I was marking the, like, with my cursor on my watch monitor, like, where I'm observing chat. I was marking on the thing so you guys couldn't see it. But yeah, if it's going to take two of them to take down one of the other Primarchs, it puts them very solidly in the tier that was made just for them. Yeah. Because also, didn't Valdor beat one of them? Like, they literally lost to a non-Primarch. Obviously, Valdor's a big G. But, it's, in the words of Castillo, it's not looking good, bruv. But, yeah, right, so, with that being said, let's get going. And, we are going to take Vulcan now. Let's put Vulcan in S tier. Because Vulcan has pretty consistent feats. Vulcan beat Conrad. So, he's comfortably there. I think Vulcan would beat Korax. Obviously, we have to remember Vulcan is perpetual. So, I'm half inclined to put Vulcan in him. But below Demon Angron. No, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put Vulcan there. That Vulcan there, because that also includes, like, I'll put that Vulcan there below War Master Horus. But we will put Istvan Vulcan wherever he's gone. There he is. We'll put Istvan Vulcan in him. You like that noise pollution, huh? As, yeah, no, Vulcan's great. Yeah, so it seems like we're getting ready to... Where are we putting Valdor then, guys? So... Because I agree with that sentiment. Abstract Digital Record... Abstract just said, if Valdor fought Guilliman, it wouldn't be a certain win for him. Like for the Primarch. Which, in all honesty, I would agree with that sentiment. I don't think that Heresy era Guilliman... Stomp, Vulcan lives indeed, Mr. Golden Balls. But yeah, yeah, I agree with that sentiment entirely. I don't think if Guilliman during the Heresy fought Valdor, like, to the death. All of these fights are implied to the death, by the way. I forgot to mention that part. Like, yeah, which, in Vulcan's instance, by the way, like, putting him down long enough to get away or something counts as killing him. It's, otherwise, Vulcan's just like, yeah, I'm up there with the Emperor and, like, War Master Horus, which we just know isn't the case. They would repeatedly just... We saw Magnus do it to him. And granted, obviously, Magnus got the better of him. Like, he got the better of Magnus eventually. Horus and the Emperor don't have the stamina issue. They both literally have infinite stamina. Like, it takes them fighting each other. Like, they're in a tier above. I almost made a separate tier just for those two. What heresy? What heresy? Ascendant Horus is killing Vulcan. I'm sorry, but he is. He killed the Emperor, pretty much. Like, it's just facts. They hated Six Paths, for he spoke the truth. Alright, so, yeah, I'm gonna say we're gonna put Valdor in C. But behind Istvan Ferris. Because I think a bloodlusted Ferris Manus like he was on Istvan wouldn't have the strength of mind. Yeah, but the thing is, if you put him in A, or if I put him in A, then I need to move Horus and Lorgar up. Okay, give me your reasons then, chat. Give me your reasons. Because I'm basing it just off of this is one of the reasons I wanted to wait for Valdor later on. Of course, at the end, we can go and adjust this afterwards. But the way I see it, I think Valdor is happily beating the 3 below him. Oh, I've also just realised. That is what I meant to do. He's over Ferris. He's above Ferris. But he was... No, I'll tell you what. Yeah, no, he could beat Lorgar. He could beat Lorgar, actually. We'll put him middle of B tier. You guys also have to remember, he's still not a Primarch. Like, if that L is about the Valdor thing, I'm sorry, but Horus would kill Constantine Valdor. Sigismund in his prime. In my prime! If you've ever seen the clip of Thierry Henry, the ex-Arsenal striker, being like, asked by Jack Grealish if he could take on Kyle Walker in his prime. In my prime! All day! Yeah, Sigismund, kill Alpharius. Easy. Sigismund would probably be... What is this L, noise pollution? Instead of just saying L, state your reason. Do you genuinely believe that Valdor could beat Horus? Do you genuinely believe that? I'd love to hear your argument. No, not just heresy. I'd like to hear a genuine reasoning, because we're trying to get to like a definitive answer of who scales where. Well, not like scales, but who tiers where. And I can happily see Valdor beating Lorgar. I can easily see him beating Istvan Ferris. And no problem for Mopey, Moody, Corvax, Corvus Corax, Gilliman, and Alpharius. In all honesty, I think he beats both of them at the same time. Because it's not like, even as Primarchs, they don't even have a size advantage on Valdor. Because they're small enough that they can pass as Astartes. So, yeah. So, the one that I've put over Valdor here, the one that Valdor is just behind, that is pre-World Breaker Horus. So that is before he's even the War Master. That's when he's fighting alongside the Emperor. So then up in S tier at the beginning of it, we've got War Master Horus, and then Chaos Juice Horus is next to End in the Death Emperor. Noise pollution's the Inquisition. Yes, see, this is wherein the problem is. This is why I've got Valdor where he is. He is capable of killing Primarchs, but it doesn't mean he can kill every single one of them. Horus just is too tanky, and you have to remember Horus wears Terminator armor. And he had the best equipment because he was the Emperor's favoured son. And Horus was no slouch. He wasn't the best. He wasn't the best among the Primarchs, but not the best among the Primarchs is still better than the Custodes. Like, I'm sorry, but it just is. But Simon Mora, you seem to have a very reasonable take coming. I'd love to hear your opinion on this placement of Ulanor Horus basically versus like over Valdor. I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't think that's an unreasonable assertion to make at all. And my logic for it is in the flashback when the Emperor perception blitzes both Valdor and Horus. And so they seem to be about relative. It could be. Yeah, exactly. Like, but that's even the one. He is capable of killing them, but whether or not, there's a possibility, but it's not going to be the consistent result. Whereas in the ones he's currently above right now, it is the consistent result. I feel, at least, anyway. Yeah, exactly. So some of these are going to be hard, and it is kind of headcanony, and I would love to explore every instance of these in detail at some point. Get some like feats, get some things, do inverse power scaling on them, because that is something else that I would love to do on this channel, is like some in detail power scaling stuff. And my first like foray into that kind of content is going to be the Kaldor Drago versus Riam and Sakuna video. That once I get my Microsoft Office all working again, because this bloody Albanian laptop, it just decided to go, yeah, your Office isn't valid anymore, and obviously I'm back in England now, so it's a thing. Yeah, of course. There's a reason that Sanguinius is being left for last. Well, not last, but that Sanguinius hasn't been touched yet. Which, speaking of, let's get to Angron. So, I have got Angron over Horus. And I don't know if I've got him over Leia Fulgrim. He's definitely an A tier. Yeah, no, I think Angron beats Leia Fulgrim, but he loses to Lion. I think that's right. Right. I'm also just going to come out and say this now. Pilgrimage Lorgar beats pre-Demon Angron. Go back to Krieg. Noise Pollution just said go back to Krieg. You're funny, man. Alright, also, guys, I kind of hate doing this. Read Aurelian Noise Pollution. Read Aurelian. If you haven't already, stop just saying L. Please. That's a W take. That's not an L. That's a common 6-paths W. Like, I love some of the Angron's words, but what the f does he know about scripture? Lorgar just turning into Kanyuzi. The Lorgeezy. Now that was heresy. Right, so we've got Fulgrim. Normal Fulgrim is going above Lorgar. Is Fulgrim beating Valdor? Yeah, see, that's the thing. like the pilgrimage Lorgar is a different breed to normal Lorgar. But he's definitely beating Angron. And post-pilgrimage Lorgar slap the taste out of Leierblade Fulgrim's mouth. And by extension, everyone below him. Oh, you want to be illiterate? Okay, yeah, you be illiterate, that's fun. Go back to Katakan. Secular Imperium means secular Imperium. That's a Brexit joke. Right, so where yeah, I'm stuck on this one. Maybe we come back to it, but I want to hear chat's opinion. I want to hear chat's opinions. Who do we think takes it between Valdor and Fulgrim? I'm leaning towards Fulgrim, but I feel like that might be my bias as an Emperor's Children player. He says also with a small Custodes army as well. I have too many plastic toys and too many resin toys. It's a problem. The plastic crack is real. Save me. But yeah, chat, have we got any opinions on this? Because I'm hard struggling here deciding where to place these two. I tell you what, I really need the toilet. I really need the toilet. So I'll be back in 2 moments, and I'll let you guys have a little chat between you about what you think happens. And I'm returned. Oh, you've got a Thunderhawk abstract. Damn. Hey, his word. Glad to see you in the stream. Thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I feel a lot better recovering from the illness. I think I might have had a particular viral disease that we don't talk about. This tier list is purely for combat potential amongst themselves in this list. So this is only inter-Primarch combat, pretty much. So this isn't relevant to think, I might at some point revisit this for like character and such, because that would also be really cool. The list would look completely different. But yeah, this is literally just a combat potential tier list. This is why Alfarius is way at the bottom, because I actually quite like Alfarius as a character. This might get me a lot of hate if this stream does well, like just generally. But the Alpha Legion memes are too much, man. Like they are. But yeah, like in terms of character, I think that there would be, because I really like Gilliman's character, as and Corvus, like Moody Corvus would be way higher if this was based on their character, like as a character analysis tier list kind of thing, because that's seeing a Primarch essentially go through depression is I thought was really interesting. It's one of the better points of Deliverance Lost. But yeah. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of, well, not a lot of, but enough echoing sentiment of me. Yeah, I believe it's yeah, we're gonna go Fulgrim over Valdor. Yeah, I don't think that's controversial. Like Great Crusade Fulgrim over Valdor, definitely. And Leierblade Fulgrim over Valdor, 100%. So with that being said, we're gonna go up and put non-bloodlusted Ferrus wherever he may be. Where's he gone? Ah, there he is. We're gonna put him over Fulgrim. I believe the fight on Istvan would have gone very differently if Ferrus Manus had been able to keep his cool. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a long time since I've read Galaxy in Flames. But wasn't Ferrus Manus winning, and then the Demon Blade took over Fulgrim and was like, yep, cool. Like, for a period of time, Ferrus Manus was winning, and then Fulgrim started to win. See, Abstract, I'm so glad you just made this comment, because it now gets to bring me to my Rogel Dawn comment, my Rogel Dawn take that is discussed on the podcast. Rogel Dawn's him, bro. He's below Vulcan, for sure. But Rogel Dawn's him. He's Himothy. Rogel Dawn is Himbo Slice. He is Him Kardashian. Rogel Dawn is Osama Him Laden. Because he's the only non-demon Primarch. Yeah, he might be boring at times. He absolutely is boring at times. Can he beat Goku, though? No, but the Emperor could. Debate me. Not like Super Goku. Dragon Ball Super Goku would... Yeah, let's not go there. That could be a whole, like, 2-hour debate. Let's not go there on that. But the Emperor could probably hang with Super Goku. For sure, the Emperor, and by extension, probably Horus. Just because of the whole ramifications of the end and the death. Goku hasn't fought in 3 separate time spaces at once. Is all I'm saying. Yeah, you don't think Dawn is taking any anger on? Okay, so I would put it to you that Dawn is the only one that's only one of the loyalist Primarchs, non-demon, to have handily, without assistance, beaten a demon Primarch. He's of those also one of the only loyalists to have killed another Primarch. I know this has nothing to do with the tier list, but what do you think the Loyalist Primarch's true potential is going to be like? How Corvus can change forms and how the Lion can now forest walk? That is a very, very interesting question. Okay, so obviously there was all of the reveals that we've had the confirmation that the Primarchs all are actually made from like warp stuff. How far that goes, we don't know. I do have a also, I'm very glad you mentioned something like this. I want to have the like discussion and stuff with chat about the Primarchs. It's how we get stuff like this, you know. So $2, what? $2 what? Or is that supposed to be like 2 cents? I don't understand that. But what was I saying? Yeah, I do absolutely think that all of the Primarchs that are left, or any that come back, are absolutely going to start displaying. It will probably be part of like a model push by Games Workshop or something, but I do think we will start to see all the latent ability of the Primarch come out. Obviously, we won't have Angron getting his paladin powers that he was supposed to have, but it's because he kind of don't need them anymore. He's a planet-splitting menace now. he went forget the paladin tree, barbarian. But yeah, no, there's a lot of interesting implications about it. I really think the forest walk thing from the Lion is really cool. I'm pointing at the wrong version of the Lion because I'm a dunce. I think I think it's really cool. Lie moment. Lie. God damn it, noise. But yeah, I think there's absolutely some real cool opportunities for things. I just hope they don't push it too much. Sorry for the noise peak there. I just realised I was facing directly at my microphone while I was speaking. I hope they don't push it too much. All in the head. Noise pollution. Average pyrocynical viewer. Shut up. All in the head. This isn't cry of fear noise pollution. But yeah, god damn it. That's totally sidetracked me. I was not expecting a pyrocynical reference in this bloody stream. You'll get no slop from me, good man. Yeah, so where was I? We were talking about the thing. Yes, so I hope it doesn't just become like a way for Games Workshop to push big models that they can sell at a high price. Like, obviously, the new Angron and Fulgrim models are beautiful. But, like, why now? Like, it just seems like an odd period of time to do it. Like, and the part that irks me about it is Demon Fulgrim has gotten his rules in Heresy, so I'm mostly in the tabletop. I mostly just play Horus Heresy. I've only played like 3 games of 40k 10th, and it's not been particularly competitive games. I'm very, very competitive in Heresy. The games of 40k I've played more casually, and His Word Only and I, if he's still in stream, we're actually intending on playing some games of 40k on tabletop. I'm going to be teaching him how to play. But yeah, it just feels like I would like the Primarchs to stay in Heresy. Because, so, I do really enjoy Age of Sigmar. I know that's among, like, the old world Warhammer Fantasy. This may be a bit tangential, but hear me out. I really enjoy how Age of Sigmar plays. But I don't want 40k to turn into Age of Sigmar. I don't want it to be, okay, I'm just going to slap, like, 9 really big monsters on the field and that's going to be the game. Like, I don't want it to be that. Because I really enjoy how 10th plays. Like, it's a lot of fun. And I don't want it to just turn into Hero Hammer. Like, which anyone that knows me personally is going to laugh at that statement because of the armies that that I play with when I'm trying to do like fun lists at like big friend meetups. Like, yeah, it's like this is coming from a man that when he was younger, well, when I was a literal child, I used to play Black Templars, and I had a 2,000 point army that consisted of 21 models. It was a 10-man command squad that was a quote-unquote command squad that had 5 sword brethren, 2 chaplains, a high marshal, and 2 castellans. All of them had bionics, all of them had storm shields, all of them had artificer armor, and all of them had mastercrafted power swords. And one of the chaplains had the holy hand grenades of Antioch, the holy orb of Antioch. Sorry, not the holy hand grenade, for copyright reasons. Yeah. And yeah, that was like a good 1750 points or something of the list, and then it was like 2 Crusader squads, and they were all in drop pod. And the command squad ran up the field in a Rhino, in a Land Raider, sorry, in one version of it, and in the and all of us are friendless. Hey, go down to your LGS. I'm sure you can make some friends there, buddy. Yeah. Go get some games in on the tabletop. It's yeah. An Astrius, a Mastodon, a Thunderhawk. How many bloody points is that? How many? Isn't that like 3k of like 3 vehicles? Nearly, right? Because a Mastodon's 600, Thunderhawk's 850 if it's got the turbo laser. That's like 2k of just 3 vehicles. You may as well take a Titan at that point. Although that is one of my favourite lists that I do really like. Once I get my new printer back from Elegoo, because I had technical issues with mine, I am absolutely going to be printing Warhound Titans. Yeah, I love the idea of just taking 2 Warhound Titans as a list, because it's 1500, but yeah, it'd just be so much fun. You'd probably get smashed because you'd never be able to do anything. But if you got that turn of shooting off. But yeah, so as I said, coming back from the tangent, pulling myself out of my ADHD hole. Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential for it, but I hope they don't just use it to shamelessly cash grab with big models, and thus turn the current edition of 40k into Hero Hammer. Oh, the Warhound's your least favourite. That's interesting. Is it the Mars pattern one? I've always adored that. Like, where a lot of people's childhood dream thing, I know, is like the Thunderhawk. They've all, like, everyone I know has always been like, Thunderhawk, Thunderhawk, Thunderhawk. So, I know a lot of people who will be very jealous of you, Abstract. A friend of mine, he very nearly bought one recently. And I was like, well, you can do it, but it's going to be very expensive, because he was getting a good deal on it, to be fair. But mine has always been, I want a Mars pattern Warhound Titan, and that's always been my thing. Yeah, so right, we're going to get back to Tillis. So in answer to the question, as long as it's done the right way and it's not just shameless cash grabbing on people buying big models, and if people buy them, GW need to not, like, cuck people. And I hope this video doesn't get, like, age restricted for me saying that, but they need to not do that. When it comes to Heresy, if they're going to release the big models of the Primarchs and the Demon Primarchs, well, not necessarily just the human Primarchs, but Demon Primarchs, they need to be usable in Heresy as well. But, yeah, so let's get back to the tier list. Yeah, no, I guess the Thunderhawk is, like, super iconic. I guess, like, for me, it was just, like, a different experience. So when I was, like, a literal child, when I was 10, they're like, I want to say I was, like, 11 or 12, actually, because this kid was younger than me. But this kid's dad bought him a Warhound Titan for Christmas from Forge World. Like, we all watched him put it together and stuff. Like, and it got ordered into the local store, so we all saw it arrive and stuff. And like we used to play like Apocalypse games at events at the store, and just seeing that thing on the tabletop as a child, just mowing things down, and the feeling of satisfaction, because I managed to kill it a couple of times. Like, well, not on my own, it was obviously part of a huge game, but I managed to land the final blow on it a couple of times, and it's just so satisfying. I couldn't imagine what that would have been like with the Thunderhawk, but obviously I think that gives me a bit of a different perspective on it, you know? But yeah, no, I can totally see that, like, yeah. Right, so let's get back to this then. So, we just established Fulgrim over Valdor and Ferrus Manus over base Fulgrim. I'm going to go ahead and say 40k Demon, Heresy Demon Angron over Dawn. For he has the mark of him. I'm going to start running out of him jokes. God, this tier list is going to make me look like a massive World Eater stan. I've just realised this. So now let's get to Sanguinius. We're actually going to do a hot take. No, Demon Angron can fly. It goes like that. Goes like that. So we've got Sanguinius over Demon Primarch. Over Demon Primarch Angron and over Dawn. Like, I've been thinking about it. I rescind the comment. Like, the Dawn could beat any of the other Primarch except Sanguinius. Like, he just wouldn't have an answer for Sanguinius. Sanguinius is just Himothy. Is anyone in disagreement with this? Noise Pollution's agreement with this, because he seems like just a blind Imperium loyalist. No offense, Noise Pollution. I'm appreciating all the comments. You're bringing some life to the chat. I really like that. So, oh, my chat has just turned itself off. Can I get it up in OBS? Why has chat vanished? If I hide chat then show it, is that going to fix it? If you try, turn it off and on again. Right, I don't want to not be able to interact with you guys, so I'm just going to do this. I'm also going to mute my desktop audio just in case we get some loud blares of my channel thing. There we go, it's back. Yeah, exactly. Like, now I haven't actually gotten to the Horus and Sanguinius part of the End and Death Volume 2 yet. I'm very, very close to it, but I'm aware that we all know it doesn't end, but it doesn't end well for Sanguinius. Where is Sanguinius in our hearts, chat? In our body. Sorry, I just spoiled where we're all supposed to hold right now. He's here, just like Cadia. Hearts in the chat for Sanguinius. But yeah, it's Sanguinius is truly a Primarch of all time. So, with that being said, Cabanda Sanguinius scales above. Oh, I've also just realised Vulcan is not above Sanguinius in any shape or form. Yeah, so we've got Vulcan above Angron, but below both forms of Sanguinius. Above Istvan Vulcan, that is. Love me planet. Love me gene seed. Love me gene sire. Simple as. Day in the life of a typical Blood Angel geezer. Go to the Primarch. Lovely. Could you imagine if the Blood Angel spoke like that? It'd be brilliant. Day in the life of a true Blood Angel geezer. So, here's where we get to some tough ones. So, obviously, Echoes of Eternity Magnus goes below Vulcan. But he definitely dog walks the rest of them. So Echoes of Eternity Magnus, I'm going to say S tier. But below Vulcan. I'm beginning to question this War Master Horus placement because of it. Because I don't think War Master Horus is touching Echoes of Eternity Magnus. Ain't no way in hell. Although with Worldbreaker, I mean, I just don't see it. Yeah, I think Vulcan gets moved up. And War Master Horus goes down. I think that's right. Alright, awesome Golden Balls. So, yeah, glad you were able to be here. So it was awesome having you, bud. So have a good time at work. So, I also think, without the Sisters of Silence, any version of Magnus beats any version of Russ. Without the Sisters of Silence, like he had on Prospero. But well, we won't give Prospero Magnus that edge. That's the one we're using for Prospero Magnus. We're actually going to put Prospero Magnus below Conrad. I reckon is fair. In A. And I think we're going to put Demon Fulgrim above War Master Horus, but below Echoes of Eternity Magnus. I think Perturabo over Istvan Ferrus Manus. What are we thinking about that, chat? Those decisions that I just made. I think those are good takes. I think we're really generating a solid list right now. I'm stuck here thinking about Demon Perturabo and how the hell we're going to do that. That's haram noise pollution. Don't do that. Right, so... for me, Lion versus Dawn isn't tough at all. I think Dawn dog walks the line. Like, because the Lion is only stated to be the best in swordsmanship among the Primarchs. Like, he's never stated to be the best fighter. And in Unremembered Empire, obviously we have that whole scene where Conrad is going, obviously not direct head on, but with Guilliman, Sanguinius, and the Lion all at the same time. on some next Batman vibe. Like genuinely. Noise pollution, no degeneracy in my chat, please. But I know what that word means. Stop it. Get some help. Which kind of on that subject as well, really. Another little tangential thing. But I started playing Dragon Age for the first time recently. And boy, if the Desire Demons aren't just knockoff demonettes, how Games Workshop didn't sue them over that. They probably tried, to be fair. But yeah, yeah. So for me, on the Dawn versus Lion thing, like, I don't see it being close. There's a reason the Emperor chose Dawn to be the Praetorian of Terror. And obviously the whole fortifications and ability in the siege is part of it. But I think having a champion among the Primarchs there, like, yeah, it would do a lot for morale in a siege. And obviously being able to actually fight the other Primarchs. You know. It's, yeah, there's a lot of arguments to be made for Rogue Dawn, for sure. But there is also a lot of arguments to be made for the Lion. Like, it could be either way, but there are just certain things, like, the Lion hasn't actually killed the Primarch. Dawn has. And Dawn also... the Lion in Heresy hasn't beaten a Demon Primarch. Dawn has. So for me, that just puts Dawn miles above the Lion. It's almost indisputably so. I'd love to hear any counter arguments, because then maybe we can put the Lion a bit further up, because I really like the Lion, but I don't see him beating Dawn. I don't see. There's no way he's beating any version of Magnus, so we can put that to rest right now. I don't see him ever, without help, beating Conrad. It's not happening, and it didn't. Oh yeah, what book did he batter Kurz in? You mean the one where he stabbed him in the gut first, and then Corswain stabbed him through the back after Kurz was about to kill him? This is also one of the reasons why I said we. Yeah, which is why Sanguinius is above Angron. The picture to the left of Sanguinius is Rage Amp Sanguinius versus Cabanda. And the one on the left of that Sanguinius is 40k Angron. You know, cut planet in half Angron. Sanguinius isn't beating that version of Angron, bro. Sanguinius isn't beating that version of Angron. I love Sanguinius, but he's not. He's above Heresy Angron by 3 tiers. But no, this is part of why I want the community talking about it. So it's... Or have you just dropped the comment and then left? Because, yeah, on the Dawn would never beat Lion Lamau. Sanguinius also beat Angron comment. When did Lion kill a Primarch? Dawn has better anti-Primarch feats than Lion does. That's all I'm saying, bro. You see, I actually believe that Old Man Lion is stronger than, which we were just about to get to. I actually believe Old Man Lion stronger than Heresy Lion, because he's got all the Emperor buffs. He's got all the Emperor buffs. Which, to be fair, actually, thinking about, you have made me rethink my position here. I will move... We'll put Kabanda Rage Amp above that. And then we'll put Lion here. No. I didn't take it as any shade, and I'm sorry if I came across confrontational. I didn't mean to come across confrontational either. It's the kind of thing that I wanted. Like, I want to get the definitive list. So I'm actually, thank you very much, Galvatron, for your comment. Like, I want to get the list. So this is like Great Crusade Lion. I don't think Great Crusade Lion's beating like Dawn. I don't. That's just my opinion. I don't think he's beating Dawn based off the feats we've seen. But 40k Lion? Yeah, 40k Lion will beat Dawn. 40k Lion will beat Dawn 100%. 100% 40k Lion beats Dawn. That I was never going to contest. But yeah. I am beginning to question this this Istvan Vulcan placement though now. See, this is where this tier list stuff gets hard as you get later on, because we've got so many in the him list that can just be an S. So we're probably going to move Dawn down to S tier over Vulcan. No, to be honest, he's not beating Magnus. Echoes of Eternity Magnus, he's not beating. It's not happening. We saw him beat Demon Slanesh, so that's fine. I am still... Yeah, I think we do that with this Van Vulcan. Because he's just a tier above himself. He's not so much higher than thing to take him up to Heresy Demon Angron. But yeah, now that we've made this adjustment, Galvatron, what do you think? And chat in general. Galvatron, if you are still here. You see, on the Corax thing as well, I'm realising I brushed past your thing on Lion versus Corax. I don't think the Lion has the speed. Not thing. As I don't believe he has the means to deal with Corax with the jump pack. Because Corax Perception blitzes quite a few significant characters in the series while he's flying on the Warhawk jump pack. And that's not even with his special one, which I forget the name of. I would have to reach for my Libra Astartes, which I can't while in front of the microphone, and I've got the headphones on at the moment because I've also been standing this entire stream for those who joined later on. Which is actually quite nice, actually, because usually when I do long form content like this and I'm sat down, my back starts hurting. Well, Demon Corax isn't an unknown quantity. We know he's above Demon Lorgar. So it depends where we place Demon Lorgar. Corax is then inherently above that. And it's quote-unquote Demon Corax. So, speaking of, should we get to that? You see, I would actually argue, I think 40k Lion would have a real good shot at beating Demon Corax. But that's only because the only scaling we have for Demon Corax is Demon Primarch Lorgar, which I have no qualms with saying Lion to smash his face in. as much as I give Lorgar respect where other members of the community won't, even if I don't like the word bearers, the 40k Lion is shaping up to be a different breed. A different breed. You know, so it's... I personally would have Lion over Demon Corax. Yeah. It's true though, isn't it? Lion would probably grab Demon Lorgar by the wrist and start smacking him with the back of his own gauntlet and going, "Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?" Noise pollution, I hath all of Leria's. As the young'uns say. I'm hip, I'm cool, shut up. But yeah, right, so, we haven't placed Mortarion or any version of Mortarion or Russ on the list yet. Obviously, we've got every version of Russ over Magnus Prospero bare minimum. I think Russ beats Corax and Conrad. I don't see Russ beating Warmaster Horus. Although with the Rage Amp, maybe? With the Rage Amp on Prospero because of how much he hated Magnus, I could see him beating Warmaster Horus. Because this is obviously pre-Chaos Horus. I don't know, the World Breaker is a hell of an amp. I'm just going to shuffle these along quickly to get the unknown quantities out of the way. Because these two we're going to have to deal with last. Demon Perturabo and Demon Corax. As a result, Demon Lorgar can go there. Because Corax is just entirely dependent on where we put Lorgar. So you go absolute last. So Crusade era Magnus. Yeah, I mean, he did kind of, didn't he, actually? Yeah, so let's get... Yeah, see, this is why I wanted chat to help as well, because I knew some of my own personal biases would come through. I like Horus a lot. Which is one of the reasons why I was glad to not be able to have any problems putting Ulan or Horus down here. Like, I was like, I think that's fair. Although now I'm looking at it and thinking about it. Could Great Crusade Fulgrim have beaten Ulan or Horus? Alright, let's get Magnus out of the way. Doesn't Russ's armor have an inherent and Russ has inherent anti-psycho powers anyway, doesn't he? I'm gonna have to look this up. I can't remember. Space Wolves are one of my weaker legions. Unless someone in chat... Well, I'm not just trusting Reddit. Right, okay. Multiple sources have told me that he can scream and give psychos headaches. Right, yeah, I remember that from Burning and Prospero now I think about it, actually. Yeah, I always get those events like a bit because the Sisters of Silence being there. Like my brain always just defaults it like and attributes all that to Sisters. Alright, so for that then, I'm going to put Ordinary Magnus over Ordinary Russ, but Prospero Russ over Magnus. What do we think about that? I know, obviously, Echoes of Eternity Demon Magnus is just... I'm sorry. It's not happening there, Wolfman. It's just not. Where do we go from here? I guess Mortarion needs to start. I think we should get Mortarion. What? Who? Oh yeah, that's Godblight Gilliman. Right. So I guess we need to get Mortarion and Khan's base forms in, right? It's refusing to let me put that there. Go there. There we go. Because we get Mortarion and Khan in, we can get a bit of better baseline going. I'm inclined to put Khan under Valdor. But that might be my White Scars ignorance showing. Because I'm only really versed with the Khan as he appears in Warhawk. And the Khan that we see in Warhawk, that's a solid A tier, maybe S. But even then, I don't see him beating the Lion. So I would probably say... Yeah, he's also probably not beating Pilgrimage Thing or Angron. Could he beat Leia Fulgrim? I think that's contentious. I think there's a good placement for Warhawk. No, that's not contentious. What the fuck? Pardon my language. What am I talking about? What on earth am I talking about? Oh, you can tell I'm tired and I've been ill recently, can't I? Literally talking about Warhawk and then like, yeah, but what about Fulgrim? Yeah. It's like my guy didn't fight a Keeper of Secrets in that book. So in fact, on that note, are we putting him above base Angron? Yeah, Perturabo carried the Heresy, but not in a singular combat front. If this list were to do with generals, Perturabo's him. Perturabo's up there. Like, Perturabo, the him category, if this was to do with generalship and general command and structure of their legion, Perturabo, Dawn, Gilliman, Emperor, Horus. And that's the him. Yeah, Perturabo's absolutely one of the cooler traitor Primarchs for sure, but it's in individual one-to-one combat prowess. I might be inclined to knock him up slightly. But I don't know. We just saw better, more consistent feats from Lorgar, I feel. Like, I know it was his Rosarius that helped him a lot, but that's also a thing that Perturabo doesn't have. Like, we saw Lorgar, because Perturabo chiefly uses ranged weapons. Obviously he's got the hammer. Like he gets Forge Breaker later, doesn't he? Yeah, I just don't see him beating Lorgar. Like, I don't see him having a way to get through the Rosarii. No, I got too much respect for the scars. I can't put Khan in the trash. Warhawk Khan, you absolutely can't put in the trash because he fights a Keeper of Secrets. I'm also using my cursor on the wrong monitor again. Galvatron, what do you think about base Khan's placement there? In between Valdor and... I'm realizing I've put Demon Mortarion there, and I intended to put base Mortarion there. Although I think Mortarion beats Valdor, so I don't know why Mortarion was even there at all. I think it may have been a misclick. I may have dragged the wrong symbol. I think Mortarion over Valdor. Yes, Abstract, but that also was nothing to do with the Khan's combat ability in a one-on-one fight versus the other Primarchs. The glory on a spaceship thing. Yeah, see, this is my problem. I think headcanon-wise, I think Khan would probably batter Valdor. But outside of his showings in Warhawk, where he is very, very clearly rage-amped, like everyone in the Siege of Terror series has like a zeal rage amp about fighting the traitors. But like Great Crusade Khan, we don't really have enough to go off of. Like, and I don't really want to pull headcanon into this list. Right, I guess here's how we'll have to scale him then. What do we think of Khan versus Mortarion? Because I don't see Khan beating Mortarion. Yeah, no, I think that's good, actually. Although I'm feeling like Valdor is a bit high at this point. His placement was good before. Let's give Khan the benefit of the doubt. Let's give Khan the benefit of the doubt and put him above Valdor. So that leaves us Demon Mortarion, Heresy and 40k like composite because yeah, so without trying to spoil you, yeah, the fight doesn't go well for Khan. It's one of the reasons why I was hesitant. It's why that was my scale there. Because it was based off of, well, Mortarion would slap the shit out of Valdor, and I don't want to say in detail because if you're still reading Warhawk, it's a really, really, really good book. Yes. So then, if anything, that Mortarion. Yeah. So we're talking. We're talking mid S tier for Demon Mortarion. I'm thinking just below Dawn for Demon Mortarion. And then, so what we're left with are the 40k Guilliman, Godblight Guilliman, which I know is technically Emperor powers, but it was still kind of Guilliman that did it. So if you guys want to assume this as a version of the Emperor instead of Guilliman, that's fine. But to me, it's Godblight Guilliman. Like, sure, the Emperor speaks through him, but it's yeah. Because Guilliman and Godblight does stuff that Yeah. At no point did we ever think Guilliman was doing stuff like that. So I'm inclined to put Godblight Guilliman at high S tier. Or do we think Godblight Guilliman deserves to... I'm thinking Godblight Guilliman deserves to go to him. Because I've run out of him jokes and I don't want to start recycling. Like, he's kind of Hemi Neutron. I'm going to just start recycling him at this point. It's been like a 2-hour stream. Yeah. It's been almost exactly a 2-hour stream. And I think 40k Guilliman because he's got the Emperor's Sword goes over War Master Horus. In fact, let's drop War Master Horus to A tier. And as a result, let's drop you to the peak of B. Drop you to C. You to C as well. I think that looks a lot better already. Yeah, because like Godblight Guilliman, I don't really think it's fair to give him the feat of burning the Garden of Nurgle, because that was kind of all Biggie. But even still, through the rest of Godblight, Guilliman be swapping hands. I don't know. What are you guys thinking on that placement for Guilliman? And the reshuffling of everything else? Daddy Smurf. Any takers on that? Well, am I going to have to move forward? While I wait for any takers on that comment, where the ever-living shit's demon? Does Demon Lorgar go? Because where Demon Lorgar goes dictates where Demon Corax goes as well. I think Demon Corax goes in him, but I don't want to put Lorgar as high as S. Like Demon Lorgar. I think Demon Lorgar goes there. Behind Magnus. Yes, my son. Noise pollution. And Korak goes into the him category behind Angron. So, the impossible one that I almost wish that I hadn't put on the tier list. Demon Perturabo, because we've not seen him do anything. I think logically he has to scale to the other demon Primarch. So who's the weakest demon Primarch on the list? It's Lorgar, right? You know, I think an argument could be made that Russ could beat him. And let's move 40k Guilliman down to A tier. Above War Master Horus. And I think we've got it. I think that's it. I think we've got the tier list. I'm just gonna take a brief break. That's looking good to me, to be honest. Like it is. I am inclined to put. No, but we can't put that. Can't put him lower. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little break, quick, and we'll do conclusion at the end. It gives chat some time to talk about it. Those of you that are still here. And yeah, I'll be right back. Right, so I'm back. Seeing as we've had no further comments regarding the placements, we've had good memes from noise pollution, and yes, there are no 2D whammons, unfortunately. Although maybe the second and the maybe the Lost and the Purged were 2D whammons, and that's why the Emperor purged, why they gotten rid of, or maybe. Just maybe, the Purged was a filthy weeb. Like not like a normal weeb like me. Like if such a statement isn't erroneous and oxymoronical in nature, but like maybe the Purged was a little on the leaning towards the lol cow side of things, and yeah, Big E was like, feels bad, man. Russ, get rid of him. So, I think that is our conclusive list. I am going to download. Save images. And, yeah, I think that might be our list. One sec, let me get this off the screen quick. Just so you guys can still see what's actually on the tier list while I'm waiting to pull the full screen of it up. Does it not say... There it is. So, with that, we have our conclusion. I think that's fair. I think we reached a good conclusion there. And I am now absolutely exhausted. So I'm going to have to sit here and say thank you to everyone who watched. It was an absolute pleasure having you guys in. If you haven't already, please do like the video and subscribe. It does really help the channel. The growth that we have had here on this channel in the last literally month and a half has been ludicrous. Like, I was doing like really rubbish gaming streams that, to be honest, I wasn't trying to do anything with them. A lot of it was just me trying to improve myself in gaming, which like I realized was just kind of cringe. And so I just stopped uploading for a while. Like, I get that there was a few like, and if you guys are still watching like this stuff, that like you guys from back in them days are still watching, that's like really cool if you guys are here. I know Mathieu, you're still around on the channel, because you commented on one of the community posts the other day. You were around during the Devil May Cry speedrun days, which for all the 40k like lore heads and stuff, I will still be doing things like that from time to time. I just don't have a PlayStation mic at the moment. I was actually thinking of trying to speedrun Deathwing, but it's a hard game to speedrun on a decent difficulty. Yeah, so stuff like that will still be happening. So I hope that doesn't drive away you guys of the 40k fandom. This ended up being the direction of the channel, just by sheer happenstance. Like, literally, I've said it before in other videos, like, I literally just did the Khan versus Erebus excerpt because I was really bored one day and had nothing to do, or nothing that I felt like doing. And yeah, and it's just, I had like 80 subscribers a year ago, and it was like 110 as of December. Like, the 370 we've grown in like 2 months. And yeah, for that I want to say I'm so thankful. Like, I just love making people happy and like giving people a little bit of a smile. Like, that's another person I want to give a shout out to if you watch this, because I know you are mostly watching my excerpt videos just to help you with what you're going through, which I won't sit and say here. But yeah, SAC Kennedy, like, I'll be honest, when I read your comment, it brought tears to my eyes, knowing that I was able to help even one person deal with some stuff. Like, I cried, bro. Like, yeah, sorry to get all touchy-feely at the end of this, for those who had a good time and a good fun on the stream. But yeah, like, it's what started as just me being bored turned into entertainment for literally tens of thousands of viewers at this point, which is nuts to me. Like, it's actually crazy. So yeah, while we're in conclusion, what armies do I have myself? So we'll start with Horus Heresy, because that's the main game I play. I've got about 3,500 points of Night Lords, 4,000 including my Shadow Sword, and Conrad Kurz for my Night Lords. Although I use Terror Assault when I play them, so I can't use the Shadow Sword in the Terror Assault detachment, because Terror Assault can't run super heavies. And the list is, the essential rundown of it is a crap ton of Raptors, a 10-man squad of Terrors with rotor cannons for that good pinning, 3 Vindicators in a Vindicator squadron, a Contemptor Dreadnought Talon, Sevatar, and a 10-man unit of veterans with Nemesis Bolters. Then my Emperor's Children is essentially just Age of Darkness and a modified Sultavits, but he's broken. Noise Pollution I have cleared Fallout New Vegas many times. It's not a game you speedrun. Yeah. Although I'd be open to just doing a playthrough of it. Maybe slap a butt ton of 40k mods on it as well. But what else? I've got a very small Iron Hands army. It's like 1,500 points. It's not even technically legal. I need to get 2 tactical squads to make it legal. Because I repurposed the tacticals from it for my Night Lords. So yeah, then I've got my Imperial Fists, which is like 2k. Well, the Fists part of it is 1,500 points, but I ally them with 500 points of Custodians, so it's a 2k list in total. Because I've also got, if you guys have been around from the hobby for like way back, I've still got my metal Casakin from when I was a kid. So I've got my Custodes that I field along those, and I use them as solo auxilia. And there's like a Russ, but it's like the oldest of old Lehman Russes that I found on sprues in my pile of shame. Then what else do we have? I'm just turning over looking at stuff. Is that it for Heresy? I've got my start of my Thousand Suns, but that's literally there's next to nothing of that. That's almost not worth mentioning. Yeah, so then for 40k, I'll do Fantasy first, actually. Oh, you're from 2nd edition, so you'll remember the Metal Casakin models. I'm missing one, which is a real pain in the arse. So I'm actually having to use an Inquisitorial Stormtrooper as the Sergeant, because I've still got the Inquisitorial Stormtrooper Sergeant. I don't know where the rest of my Inquisitorial Stormtroopers went. I must have lost them. I had an incident where I lost an army one New Year's Eve, which sucked. That was like 4,000 points of like Blood Angels. It was. I used the Blood Angels rules and had some Blood Angels models, but they were in Imperial Fist Successor Chapter, so that's where it leads me to my 40k army, which is my own Successor Chapter called the Nova Fists. So if you imagine the Black Templars and then do the exact opposite of the Black Templars, so they're all of the highly psychic, like my homebrew lore for them is they're all the highly potent psychers taken from the aspirants of the Imperial Fist Successor Chapters, and they're like, go and give them to them. They know what they're doing, kind of thing. So like Grey Knights, but not as good as Grey Knights. Like I literally use Grey Knight Terminators as my Terminators. And before 10th Ed, when you weren't allowed to take allies, I used to just take an allied detachment of Grey Knight Terminators for when I wanted to use Terminators. Yeah, so that's about 2k points now in new rules, because a lot of things got downsized in points. Yeah, I'm from... I can't remember what book from what edition it was, but I remember McCrag coming out, I think. But Battle for McCrag was the starter set that was around when I was playing. I was 8 years old when I started playing 40k. Yeah, my early formative years in the game, I don't really remember them too well. But yeah, then for Age of Sigmar, I've got Stormcast that I still need to build. Then I've got my Sylvaneth army, but I don't really play Sigmar all that much anymore because like Oscars 1 is the only person that I really play it with. Yeah, it's yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, except I don't have PayPal credit. I'm just broke because of plastic. But yeah, it's yeah. So then the Sylvaneth, I don't get to play Age of Sigmar as much as I'd like because Oscars 1 is like the only person that I'd play it with. He's one of the members of Dark Podcasticum that we do. But and when Oscars 1 and I are going to meet for War Games, we'd just much rather play Heresy at this point, because he's got a collection of Tomb Kings, and if you're a Sigmar player at all or know anything about Sigmar, the old armies are legal, the ones that are like legends, but they're so power crept. Like my there's nothing his Tomb Kings can just do to my Sylvaneth. Like I could take the worst Sylvaneth army and it just doesn't work. Like the power cliffing is too much. I hope GW get onto that, but I feel like they're not going to because the Old World's coming out, which is a good segue into, for Old World, I've got Dark Elves, which is something I'm looking forward to expanding upon when all of the boxes start dropping, which I think might have already happened, right? I don't know. I stopped paying attention to that kind of because of the channel and the direction it is. It's 40k direction it started taking. I feel like I'm missing an army. I think I've got Nids. I think I've got Nids somewhere as well. Yeah, the Admech have some really cool lines of minis. I'd love to have I'd love to do an Admech force, but the problem is for me with Admech stuff is so. I've been a lifelong martial artist. Gonna try not to like self-dox or something here, but I fight and have done like a lot, like as an athlete, not just as a Brexit geezer down a nuclear sub. But yeah, and so like I've got a lot of damage to my hands over the years. And yeah, so tiny flimsy models like Adeptus Mechanicum and Adeptus Mechanicus and Mechanicum in Heresy, I just break them. Like my Sylvaneth were like a nightmare to build. The ones that I did build, and most of them I got secondhand, that were pre-built, and I've painted them. And I've since like developed a method of painting that I can do with really shaky hands. So it's yeah. So yeah, that I think about covers it for my armies. The Vorax are cool. Yeah, I want to get some Castellax for sure. Like as like a Heresy guy, I want some Castellax, but I wouldn't do them for an Admech army. I would want them for like my Iron Hands, because the Brethren of Iron detachment, I think they've got. It's called. It's something along those lines, where they can take the console that can have a Cortex controller, because that's just a really interesting idea to me. I think there's potential with that competitively. Definitely need more Dreadnoughts for my own hands, but so I want to do a Fury of the Ancients list. But like all of the people in my local meta will like moaned about it when I suggested that I was going to do it with Night Lords, and then what they got instead was my Terror Assault list, which is far gnarlier than the Fury of the Ancients list ever was going to be. This is my Terror Assault list is gnarlier. I think I've only lost with it once. And that was during a game where I kind of showed mercy to my friend because he. So I've got a Xiphon that I converted out of. At some point when I've actually finished painting my Night Lords, I'll have to do like an army showcase on the channel or something. The Xiphon, it just needs a new flight stand because I was using a friend of mine's for a while, But they all call it an abomination. I call it a work of art. So it's the tiny little Space Marine flyer, the Storm Talon, with like drop pod fins, and basically I like crafted together some drop pod fins to make it look like the original Hellblade that Forge World used to make. So it's like a pre-Heresy Hellblade, and I was just like, well, the closest thing to it is a Xiphon. And and in this game, the guy I was playing with had literally just bought a bunch of flyers for his Raven Guard. And obviously, if you know anything about the Heresy tabletop, the thing that makes the Xiphon good is it goes, oh, you have a flyer, you don't have a flyer. It's got the advanced reaction Sky Hunter Talon, which if someone brings on a flyer, you get to, as a reaction, bring your flyer on and then immediately shoot it. And so he brought his flyers on, and I let his Fire Raptor live, and his Fire Raptor then just proceeded to decimate my army. I instead shot down... I can't even remember what was it? Is it the Aquila or something like that? The other one, the one that looks kind of like the Nephilim. I always forget what that one's called. I'd like to get a Marauder at some point. Because I think flyers are very, very underutilized in Heresy because of their capacity to just get shot down and not do anything, and they are a big point sink. But when they work, they are nigh unstoppable. But it's just, it has that. The flyers are so overpriced in both money and points. Like my Xiphon, or my quote-unquote Xiphon, has made me hesitant of getting actual Xiphons. Because if somebody's got a flyer, that flyer gets to do nothing and I kill it immediately. But if they don't, I'll kill maybe 1 or 2 tanks the entire game with it, and the rest of the game it will just spend going back and forth up and between the board trying to line up a decent shot. I wouldn't imagine, and that's with 135 point with the Ramjet Diffraction Grid flyer, and it feels like a waste of points. I can't imagine paying like 300 points or whatever it is for a Marauder Bomber and it doing nothing all game. Like, yeah, it's the super heavies and flyers and stuff do need a bit of a buff in Heresy. I do think we're due in maybe some supplements or something for the books that give us new stat lines for certain things. Like, because the Stormlord, for example, so I've got a Stormlord for, it was for my original army that got lost, which was the Nova Fists, but Space Marines can't take Baneblade pattern vehicles anymore, so, because no allies, that's how I used to get around it. I used to literally just have a super heavy detachment with a Stormlord in it, which you obviously can't do anymore. So my Stormlord needs to be repurposed for something. I'm probably going to chuck it in my Thousand Suns because it's already red. I'm going to just use my Inhaler real quick. Yeah, like I fielded my Stormlord in a game of Heresy, and it was 850 points of do nothing. I can't believe why is the Vulcan Megabolt not twin linked? And why does it not have the it can fire twice rule anymore? Like, it just seems like the worst pattern of Baneblade for the most points. Like, somebody at GW cocked up with the design, in my opinion, of the Super Heavies because they were trying not to break the game. But Super Heavies are supposed to do that. But, yeah, it is what it is. Thank you guys. Oh, wait. Oh, no, that's the same comment. Right, yeah. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. So, I really appreciate it. I love you all, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.